Can you hear me, Putte? Yes, right? Everybody keep the camera switch on. All of you keep the camera switch on. My screen is upside down, no, right? Is it transformed, guys? Yes, no? Manutmi. Ah, that is Ananya, right? Okay. Right. Today's documents, still I didn't upload them into the LMS because I couldn't include the header, footer, and this part, what we call the watermark. Watermark just right now I add. After the session, or when I give you 10 to 15 minutes interval, I'll upload it to the LMS. Then you can have it. Do you need it right now? If I show the document on screen, you need it in your hand as well? Yeah? No, right? No. So here, I have already given this presentation. Do you have this one with you guys? You don't have? Ah, okay, right. So I'll share this one as well. This is not done by me. I downloaded this one from SlideShare site, but it is a very descriptive, lot of information you can collect from this slide as well. Right. So vendor of sweet. First of all, the title itself. Who is the vendor? The seller. What does he sell? Sweet, right? The person who sells sweet. And when you start the story, and from the starting point, he says what? Concur. What we have to do? He says it in very beautiful manner. The first line itself, I think. Conquer taste, and you will have conquered the self, said Jagan to his listener. So just imagine a person who have a sweet shop, who is the owner of the sweet shop. Can he control his tongue? Can he control his taste? It's impossible, right? But here you know, here you understand. Just imagine I am a teacher. So whoever, if somebody asks a question, I give a lengthy explanation with enough examples. So my circle, my people who are in my circle, they are saying, you play exactly a teacher role with us as well. So what we are doing, it reflects with us. Yes or no? So the vendor of sweet, the person who sells the sweet to the outside world, he himself tries to keep his tongue under his control. Main thing here, the person who sells sweets to the outside world, who tries to make others happy. We bring sweets, especially Indians, they bring sweets to celebrate their happiness. Right? If there is a happy news, they go with that laddu. Have you seen that? When you watch films and teledramas, you know, if there is a promotion, they will go there with the laddu. If there is a good news, wife is pregnant, they go with the laddu, right? So they use sweets to indicate their happiness. Sharing sweets, they share their happiness. But here, Jagan, who shared the sweets with the others, he himself is not happy. The sweet seller, he himself is keeping himself in a very restricted place. Right? If I am a person who prepare cakes, you know, all the time I taste it, and my house people, they are enjoying the tasty different types of food. But here inside Jagan's house, Mali even doesn't like to consume his father's food. So his father forcefully give him food, but what he does, he just avoid them, take some money, go to the college canteen and have the meals there. Right? So that is the ironical part of this fiction. So the title itself give you a insightful idea. If you are a critical thinker, if you somebody who think beyond the boxes, then you will understand the title itself shares or deliver a very strong message. Right. So the characters, right? Before going to the characters, we'll come to the Narayan. Right? So these are the main points of Narayan, born in 1906 in colonial India, a born storyteller. Why it is said that he is a born storyteller? You see his writing, the way he explained the old house, right? The toilets, the roads, the room, right? The appearance of Jagan, everything, we have that crystal clear picture. Yesterday night, I tried to generate these pictures, right? Generate the pictures so that I can show you the visualize images, visualize content to get this idea. But the problem is, as how minute its work is, I could not put everything into the prompt. Though I am giving everything, sometimes they are making some stupid mistakes, right? There, then if I show those pictures with some flaws in that, then it is a huge damage towards the plot, right? Because of that reason, I didn't do that. If it is a small thing, I could have done. Then I tried to convert it into a video one. There also the Jagan is preparing tea there, right? He is putting he's trying to make the tea. So the entire story will come to the end, right? Because of that reason, I said, no problem. AI, you stay home. I'll go and try my best to narrate this story by my own words here. How did that? So excellent in presenting tragic comic aspect of human life. So his writing is extraordinary, remarkable language skill. He owns a remarkable language skill. So there is no any, you don't need any other examples. The book Vendor of Sweets is more than enough for that, right? So there are some places you fell in love with his language and you understand, oh my God, this man, everything you get to your mind, right? He tries to give you the mental picture to the dot. You can imagine the particular character, particular situation by yourself. Okay? And Indian Hindu way of life, normally whatever ඉස්සර ඇවිල්ලා ඔය ළමයි මේ ඔයාලා ඒව බැලුවද දන්නේ නැහැ මං හැමදාම කියනවා මං හිතන්නේ මල්ගුඩි ඩේස් කියන ඩ්‍රාමා එක ඉස්සර අපේ ටීවී එකේ පෙන්නනකොට අපිට තිබුණේ අර CRT televisions, right? ඔය මේ LCD වත් LED වත් අපිට තිබුණේ නැහැ. ඒකට තිබුණේ අර CRT හෙන්න ලොකු ටෙලිවිෂන් එක ගෙදරට කරන්ටුත් නැහැ. බැටරියෙන් තමයි charge කරලා බැටරියට තමයි කනෙක්ට් කරලා TV එක බලන්නේ. එතකොට සමහරට බැටරිය charge නැත්තම් ගාලා උස්සගෙන ගිහිල්ලා තාත්තට දීලා තාත්තගේ ලොරියට කනෙක්ට් කරගෙන යාට කියන මං ස්ටාර්ට් කරගෙන ඉන්න මේක චුට්ටක් charge කරලා දෙන්න ඩ්‍රාමා එක බලන්න ඕනි කියලා. එච්චරට ආසයි. අර මියුසික් එක වැටෙනකොට මියුසික් එකක් තියෙනවානේ මල්ගුඩි ඩේස් එකේ do you know that? ඩුන් 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 ගාලා එන්නේ. ඒ මියුසික් එක නිකන් අර මේ මොනවාද ඇඩික්ෂන් එකක් වගේ. අර නිකන් ඩ්‍රග්ස් ගත්තේ නැත්තම් නිකන් ඇඟ ගැහෙනවා වගේ. අන්න ඒ වගේ තමයි ඇඩික්ෂන්. එච්චරට ආසයි. So මේ එයාගේ නාරායන් most of his writing he has given the Indian touch, Indian culture, Indian life stories. හරිද? හරි ලස්සනයි හැබැයි ඒවා හරි අර මේ එයා ඒ ලියන සරලකමද නැත්තම් එයා ඒ කතාවල deep dive වෙන නිසාද දන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ කතා මාරම ආසයි බලන්න. හරිද? ඔය දැන් ඔයාලා බලනවා වගේ මොන ඉනිමද මොනවාද ඒක? ක්‍රිකට් ඉනිමද නෑ. දෙවනි ඉනිම. දෙවනි ඉනිම. ඔය වගේ විකාර කතා නෙමෙයි ඒවා. හරි ලස්සනයි. ළමා කාලේ අනේ මන් දන්නේ මේ මම මීඩියා මිනිස්ටර් එකට ආව නම් ඉස්සලාම මාරු කරන්නේ ටෙලි ඩ්‍රාමාස් ටීවී එකේ පෙන්නන කන්ටෙන්ට්. ළමයිගේ මිනිස්සුන්ගේ සමාජයේ සම්පූර්ණ මනස විකෘති කරලා නැති අපේ කාලේ අනේ අර මොනවාද වලස් පැංචා හරිද ඔය වගේ හරි ඒවනේ අපි බැලුවේ ළමයි වලස් පැංචා සූරපප්පා හරිද අනේ අර බඩ තඩිය බලා එහෙම අපි මේ මිස්ටර් බීන් හරි ලස්සනයි ටීවී එකේ ඉස්සරහා තව හිට තිබුණ කතාවක් දූ දරුවෝ කියලා. ඒ වගේ මේ සුන්දර ලෝක ටීවී එක ඉස්සරහා ගියාම හරි ලස්සන ලෝකයක් දකින්න මිසක් ඔය වගේ ජරා තුප්පහි දේවල් ටීවී වල ඉස්සර පෙන්වුවේ නැහැ අපිට. අනේ මන් දන්නේ නැහැ. හරිද? Okay. Nowadays ඔයාලා කියන්නේ මට පොඩි ස්ට්‍රෙස් එකක් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. I am a teacher, right? Then I am a teacher. මම ඇවිල්ලා දැන් from my dress code also I'm very conscious about everything ne e una now I think twice no thrice apa hitana I question by myself as well me minisunge ara එක එක දේවල් ඔයාලා දන්නවනේ නේද society එකේ දැන් currently යන issue එක it's not a small thing ඉස්සර මගේ මහත්තයා ඇවිල්ලා මේ මට එහෙම වැඩි එහෙම කියන්නේ නැහැ මොනවත් කියන්නේ නැහැ එහෙම මේ මෙහෙම කරන්න අර එහෙම කරන්න එහෙම කතා කරන්න මෙහෙම කතා කරන්න කියලා කියන්නේ ඒ වුණාට දැන් එයා හැමතිස්සෙම කියනවා කතා කරනකොට මෙහෙම කතා කරන්න කැමරා එකේ ඉස්සරහින් නෝඩ මෙහෙම ඉන්න ක්ලාස් එකේ ෆිසිකල් ළමයි ඉන්නවා නම් මෙහෙම කන්සර්න් කරන්න කියන එක ස්පෙෂියලි කියනවා ඒ කියන්නේ සමාජය අර කරපු අයට වඩා ඕකේ බලපාන්නේ කාටද දන්නවද කරන්නේ නැති අයට people who are very conscious about their jobs about their responsibilities they struggle a lot කරන කට්ටියට වඩා ලොකු මේකක් ඉතින් දැන් හිතන්නකෝ දැන් මොන හරි ඉන්ඩිවිජුවල් ක්ලාස් එකක් හරි මොනවට හරි දෙමාපියෙක් කාව හරි ගෙදරට ගෙන්නනකොට හරි හිතනවානේ නේ they think too many times දැන් කවුරු හරි මැසේජ් එකක් කරා අපි පුතේ මොනවාද කරන්නේ what are you doing study will you කියලා දැන් මම සාමාන්‍යයෙන් I use the words darling baba putte those words I use just because I treat you as my own children. But another person can think, why this lady is calling in such words? Why this lady is using such flattery words? කියලා හිතන්න පුළුවන් නේද? තව කෙනෙකුට හිතන්න සලස්නවා. So දැන් අපි ඇවිල්ලා ෆිල්ටර් එකක් යූස් කරලා කතා කරන තැනට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවනේ. හැම දෙයක්ම හිතනකොට හැසිරෙනකොට කතා කරනකොට ෆිල්ටර් එකක් දාලා කතා කරන්න මේ වෙනවා. දැන් මැසේජ් එකක් බලලා රිප්ලයි කරන්නත් බයයි මට. Next one, nationalist movement, how culture changes, travel and global exposure, literary exposure. So nationalist movement, India was under British colonial rule. The nationalist movement in India aimed at gaining independence from British rule. So most of his writing, there are political aspects in his writing. But there are two aspects of political there are two aspects. When we consider the politics, there are two aspects. One is, do you know that? Two things. Micropolitics and other one I forgot. Macropolitics. Macropolitics and so here, through his writing, he is not directly talking about the politics, but there are some concern towards that as well. So here, you know, the Jagan's contributions towards the independence journey and what type of freedom, for the freedom, how he fought and what is his involvement towards that, and how he keep continuing his patriotism towards the country, how he resists against the European culture, right? Such things he has included, but not directly. Directly kata karne ekak neme, but he has a minor concern about that as well. Here, this fiction, the Jagan, most of the time he mentioned some principles of Gandhian. So he says that I'm strong Gandhian follower. So I follow his principles. What are they? Non-violence, truthfulness, self-reliance, simple living and sharing with others, non-attachment to material possessions, Swadeshi, tolerance and respect for all religions, constructive programs, equality and social justice. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. මම මේක කලිනුත් කියලා තියෙනවා. Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, Gandhiji, we use very honorable words for him. But if you go through his life story, he has a lot of controversial things, right? He has delivered a lot of things against women. So personally, he's not my type of person, right? He's not my type of person. There are good things, but there are enough things to criticize about him. Okay, so if you are doing some background research about him, I don't think you will really like his personality. Mahatma Gandhi, right? Tenuki, have you read about him? Yes, right. There are a lot of bad things he has delivered about women. So he's not my type of person. But I appreciate the good things he has done. So if I am a strong believer of Gandhi, if I declare I follow his principle, I should follow all the principles. I cannot filter it the way I want. Yes or no? Yes or no? So if you are a Buddhist one, you should follow all the rituals given in the religion. If you are a Muslim person, Islam one, then you have to be very conscious about your messenger's teaching, right? The principles given in the Quran. So likewise, if he says, I'm a strong Gandhian follower, then these are the principles. You should follow them. You follow the ahimsa. Yes, you don't wear the cows. Which one? That word. That cow's skin is known as what, Pate? Remember? You don't remember? Oh, අනේ ළමයි. I don't want to cut a cow's neck for my feet comfortability කියලා ඔන්න වගේ එකක් තියෙන්නේ. එතන use කරනවා මේ මොකක්ද shoes එක. It's throat cut off out of the lead and animal. We hate to have this issue. yellow patterns, and he shod his feet with thick sandals made out of the leather of an animal which had died of old age. Being a follower of Gandhi, he explained, I do not like to think that a living creature should have its throat cut for the comfort of my feet. Hide putte. Cow's hide. Okay, so he does not use leather slippers because of what? He believes when they manufacture leather shoes to get the materials, they kill animals. So he doesn't like it. He finds a cow or bull which is died due to the sickness or old. Right? After that, he brings the hide and does this tanning process inside the house, give the cobbler to mend his shoes, right? So he follow this ahimsa. That's okay. Truthfulness, does he follow? No, he doesn't. If he is truth, he don't want to mention, he don't want to maintain two accounts, right? He's lying to the income tax officers, right? He's telling that this is what I have earned, but he's earning more than that. It's not. Self-reliance, yes. Simple living and sharing with others, simple life, of course, yes. Sharing with others only on the Fridays. He became generous only on Friday, not other days, right? And this one, non-attachment to material possession, of course not. He's having a strong attachment with the materials. That's why after closing the shop, you know, the security person is very concerned about the safety, and even though the padlock is super strong, he check it twice to check whether the place is safe enough, closed properly. He always keep the chair in a place where he can see the counter and the kitchen. So while reading the Bhagavad Gita, he should not do that if he is not that attached with the material stuff. The person who says goodbye to everything and leave the place for the renunciation takes the key with him. Takes not the key, but the checkbook. He don't want to do that. He could leave it as well, right? The materialistic. So the love for the material is remaining throughout his character. Swadeshi, of course, yes. He doesn't take anything from outside. Tolerance and respect for all religion, it is not made. No, partially, right? Because when he realized they were not married, they are not married, Grace and Mali is not married, he says that she is a casteless girl, right? If I am not considering the other religion and treat everybody as alike, I should not use such words, right? Constructive programs, equality and social justice also you don't see. So he follows what he needs, what makes him comfortable, only follows. So we call such people as hypocritic people. Hypocritic people, they say that they pretend like they are following everything and they are like saint. But behind the curtain, you understand they are not like that, right? They create their atmosphere just the way they want so that it favor them. For their favorism, they arrange things, not for the others' betterment. Right. Next one. Ilamata. Right. About the novel, this is written in 1967, post-colonial India. The setting is fictional. So this story, R.K. Narayan is writing about Jagan, a sweet seller who lives in a city called Malgudi. So the Malgudi, or this Jagan, or this Mali, all the characters are fictional. These are in his imagination. There are no such characters in real. I don't know, nowadays there is a restaurant called Anand Bhavan. Anand Bhavan is mentioned in this vendor of sweet story. So I have Anand Bhavan is a famous shop in India nowadays. I just want to say, check their when they have inaugurate their functions. So with that, we can understand whether they have put that name. There is in Sri Lanka as well. I don't know, man. I'm not going outside because the outside food doesn't suit me. Any some restaurant one day I just want to visit Wild Dish. That's it. It's one of my target. I just want to visit there. Target because I like that boy. මං හරි කැමති how from the very bottom line he start his journey and reach a very good standard, still keep his qualities in a very precious way, right? I like the way even he can hug and tight the girls because girls are jumping to his body, but still he keeps his hand like this. Even he won't touch. So those qualities I like. One day I want to visit the Wild Dish. Rather than that, I'm not going outside. Anand Bhavan ඔයාලා චුට්ටක් හොයලා බලන්න ඉන්දියාවල ආනන්ද භවන් කවදාද පටන් අරන් තියෙන්නේ 1996 1967 වලට පස්සේ නම් ගොඩාක් වෙලාවට මේ ආනන්ද භවන් එකේ මේකේ තියෙන ඉන්ස්පිරේෂන් එකෙන් නම දාලා ඇත්ත කියලා මම බිලීව් කරනවා මොකද ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අපි අතරම ඕක කොච්චර ප්‍රසිද්ධයි නම් ඉන්දියාවේ ගොඩාක් ප්‍රසිද්ධ ඇති ලොකු ඉම්පැක්ට් එකක් ඉන්දියන් කල්චර් එක ඇතුලේ යාලා කරලා ඇති කියලා බිලීව් කරනවා මම හරිද in a time that India faces serious tendency of transformation. ඔයාලා දන්නව නේද මේ මම Twilight of a Crane එකේ පුතේ මම ඔයාලට හරි important point එකක් මට අමතක වුණා. Twilight of a Crane. It is the base, the background is Japan, right? It's Japan. Japan, what is the currency? Which currency is used in Japan?
Yen.
Yen. But in the drama, what is the currency mentioned?
Gold.
Dollars. What does it mean? What does it mean?
Industrialization of Japan.
Exactly. So the transformation, right? The impact of America towards the Japanese culture, Japanese economy is highlighted from that. So we don't, very minor point, right? Normally they have used dollars. So you should have extra curiosity to think in that way. These people are using yen. Why the writer has used dollars? That is the indication. So likewise, here, in a time that India faces serious tendency of transformation, through this drama, he shares lot of messages, right? Lots of messages. We will discuss them one by one. About a single father and a growing son. So the father, the paternal love, maternal love. If a father tries to give the maternal love, as a father also he is going to fail. Right? If I am a single mother who raised my son, if I think he doesn't have the father's love, and I am taking extra effort to be his father, I will be fail as a mother as well. Definitely, I won't be able to be a father, and as a mother, I am going to fail in my role. Why is that? Why is that? A mother should play her own role. Nobody can replace somebody else. Right? For an example, Tenuki and I, we both are thick friends, right? So in one place, I get a small confliction with her and we get detached. So to fill that gap, I create a friendship with Gehansa, right? I don't want to create the friendship with her, but I just want to fill that gap left by Tenuki. I'll be fair. And Gehansa will find me as a torture because I will not let Gehansa to be her own version. I want Gehansa to treat me just the way Tenuki treated me. Right? We won't be able to continue a good relationship. Yes or no? The same way, Jagan tried to give him maternal love. Because of that reason, he was failed as a father as well. There was a huge flaw in his parenting process Because of that reason, whatever he tries to keep his son away from, his son brought them hope. He is strongly against this beef eating culture. He started to eat beef. He doesn't like alcohol. Indian people, they are strongly against towards the alcohol. Finally, Mali was arrested because there was some alcohol bottle inside his vehicle. And living with a woman or a man without legally getting married is a huge sin according to Indian culture. Even you should not touch other woman, another man without having that rituals. You have to, first of all, you have to fulfill the rituals, then you should go for that. But his son lived in a relationship without any legal concern or applying a moral value. And quickly, he said that this lady is not suitable for a wedding. He's not fixed. She's not a good fit for me. Okay. So those kinds of great negative things that he doesn't like his son to practice with happen just because of his parenting problems. Okay. Ultimately, Jagan leaves the sheer pressure and monotony of life. He is living a very monotonous life, right? What is the monotonous life? Ekakari jeevitya, right? His ritual, his schedule is fixed, right? There are no any changes. There are no any excitement in his daily routine. It is a very monotonous process. Okay. So the Malgudi, the fictional universe, you see. Okay. Studying this novel, you will understand the social aspect, economic aspect, political aspect, interpersonal relationship, and intrapersonal aspects as well, right? As I told you, we talk about the social issues, right? When a child lost his mother during his childhood, very early stage, what kind of impact it can create in his mind, right? When a person is too extremist, even though good things should not be followed in a very critical way, we call such people as who? Extremists. Even you are too much into your religion, that's not good, right? You have to cover yourself, that's true, and you cover your head and you put the face cover, and for the eyes also you put a small net. I have seen the ladies, they put the face cover for the eye area, they apply a small net. That's totally bad, bro, right? I get angry over those people. They are seen as properly, they close themselves. That's wrong. No, Tuan, that's wrong, right? Islam religion didn't force them to. It is not compulsory. You don't want to cover your face. You don't want to cover, right? You don't want to cover your hands. It's not compulsory, but there are some people. When you follow even the religion in an extreme way, it creates unwanted social problems. Yes or no? Yes, right? And economic aspects, of course, yes. So the economic level of Jagan, Mali, and everything, we will discuss these things in a detailed manner when we discuss the chapters. Right? Chapter summary. I don't want this one. I have a descriptive note prepared by myself. So I prefer that document. Okay. So Here, the novel is set mainly in Malgudi, a fictional South Indian town created by R.K. Narayan. Malgudi represents a typical middle-class Indian town rooted in tradition yet slowly influenced by modern changes. So here, Jagan Sweet Shop, a place of order, discipline and traditional business values. Jagan House, quite lonely and emotionally heavy. Public places in Malgudi symbolizing social norms and Indian culture. That statue, Lawrence statue. What's the name of that? Lawrence statue, right? Right. So the novel is set in post-independence India around the 1950s, 1960s. 1947, we received freedom. 47 to 48 48.
Indian people 47.
47, before 1 year, that's what, right? 1948, we received freedom. They received 1 year before 1947. So post-independence era. So 1950s to 1960s. 1967, Indian is adjusting to modernization and Western influence. In 1967, modernizations and their influence was not that heavy. But R.K. Narayan, through his imagination, he has thought a lot more things. So you see those things in the fiction, because that storytelling machine. Now we have the storytelling machine, ChatGPT, Gemini, this and that, AI generated tools. So now if I want to even draft a film script, AI will draft it for me. But the problem is what? They are not that unique, Putta. They are not that unique, because a human, just imagine AI write a book and you compare it with R.K. Narayan. Even you can't bring the parallels, man. You can't bring the parallels. Maybe you can give the minute prompt to be very conscious about the techniques and all. But still, දැන් හිතන්නකෝ අපි ඔය මේ ඔයාලා පුඩින් හදනව නේද? Simple example එකක් කියන්න. පුඩින් powder එකක් අරන් පුඩින් එකක් හදලා බලන්න. හරියට බිත්තර කිරි දාලා පුඩින් එකක් ගෙදර හදලා බලන්න. ඒ පුඩින් එකයි කඩෙන් හදන පුඩින් එකයි අතර අහසට පොළොව වගේ වෙනසක් තියෙනවා. Yes or no? Yes or no? So ඒ වගේ තමයි. හරිද? Instant made එකයි natural එකේ තියෙන වෙනස ඒක ඇවිල්ලා මොනවා කරත් ගන්න බෑ. හරියටම නිකන් ස්වභාවික සුදු කාන්තාවකයි ක්‍රීම් ගාලා සුදු වෙච්ච එක්කෙනෙක්ගේ තියෙන වෙනසවල දෙකක්නේ. නේ? අර තියෙන පැහැය ඒක කොහොමටවත් මොන ක්‍රීම් නෙමෙයි. කවුද මේ පියුමි හංසමාලි නෙමෙයි, පියුමි හංසමාලිගේ ආච්චි ක්‍රීම් එකක් හදලා ගෑවත් ඒක ගන්න බෑ. හරිද? ඒ වගේ තමයි. naturally is natural, artificially is artificial. හරිද? එතකොට මේ ඒ influence එක, මේ modernization influence එකේ ලොකු impact එකක් society එකට තියෙයි කියන imagination එකෙන් එයා ගොඩාක් දේවල් ලියලා තියෙනවා. Right? During his time, even he hasn't seen such thing, but through his imagination he has given you lot of things. Right? Traditional values coexist with new ambitions. Younger generation challenge old moral system. So according to Mali, what his father is doing is West. Right? He doesn't consider my father has done something valuable. No, for him, whatever the techniques, whatever the theories his father follow, he finds it as something stupid. Right? Something useless. Social and cultural setting, traditional Indian family structure, Gandhian ideals of simplicity, discipline and non-attachment, strong respect for marriage, religion and moral conduct. So every time you see the juxtaposition through this drama, the drama fiction, throughout the fiction, you see the juxtaposition, compare and contrast as a technique he has used. According to the jargon, marriage is something very precious and it should be taken with the responsibility, and the parent should decide with whom you have to lead your life, and whatever happens you have to be with your partner. When you get married, your wife is your responsibility. You have to take care of her, even though you have to fight with your family on behalf of her. According to Mali, relationship, marriage is just another concept. He thinks that if the relationship doesn't work, he can quit it and let it go, right? He thinks before getting married, they can have whatever they want, right? They can live with the person, and after the marriage, women should take care of their own. Financial responsibility should not be taken by the husband. If a woman can't take her own financial responsibility, she is not a good fit for a marriage life. Okay, Pute. So likewise, Jagans and Malis maintaining two different concepts about their life. When we consider the Grace and Ambika, that is total different stories. Ambika is shy to come in front of the people. So she says she's shy to go and meet her future husband and her future family. But the Grace from America, she travels to India just to see her father-in-law. From the starting points onwards, Grace tries to create a relationship, very good relationship, very friendly, very outspoken relationship with her father-in-law. But Ambika, her every conversation, she limits to the mother and Jagat, right? Again, if we take another comparison, who else we can take? Okay. Chinnadorai and cousin. Compare Chinnadorai and cousin. Cousin, he's smart. He maintained his margin, right? He maintained his limitation when he wants to help others. Chinnadorai is a person who is very selfish. So he manipulates Jagan and request him to do something behalf of Chinnadorai. But he gave the feeling Jagan needs Chinnadorai. Jagan needs to stay away from this, right? So the Chinnadorai is such a manipulative person, right? He is a great manipulator because he manipulates Jagan just the way he wants. හරි. ඔයාලා උදේට කාලා දෙන්නේ? Tenuki, you had your breakfast?
Eat.
You had something. Okay, විනාඩි 5ක් දෙන්නම් ටී එකක් හරි මොනවා හරි බීලා යන්න. විනාඩි 5. Oh my goodness, I didn't record the section, man. I didn't record. No problem. I have my another recording methods because of that reason. That's okay. Right. You take 5 minutes break and right. Tenuki Gehansa Tuan. Switch on the camera. Right. Okay. So the chapter 3 where Mali introduced his studies. He wants to continue his studies in a foreign country, that is America. Right. At the same time, he loves his son deeply. Jagan remembers teaching from the Bhagavad Gita. He believes in non-attachment and selfless duty. Jagan decides to stop Mali from going abroad. He agrees to support Mali financially. He shows Jagan's sacrifice and generosity as a father. So here, during this chapter, we understand Mali doesn't ask any money from Jagan for his arrangement for going abroad and stitching and all tickets payments and all he is doing himself. How? He takes money from his father's where father hides his extra money from that place without asking permission from the father. Mali steals money, right? That is the correct word to tell, that he steals money from his father. Mali speaks excitedly about success, fame, and money. He sees creative writing as a business opportunity. Mali appears confident, ambitious, and independent. So, here in this chapter, he is telling he is writing an article for a competition. Actually, he doesn't know whether it is an article, whether it is a story or a poem. He doesn't know which genre, but he believes participating in this competition and winning 25,000 rupees. He also seems insensitive to his father's feeling. He doesn't care about father's feeling. The chapter highlights themes of ambition, migration, and change. It shows conflict between spiritual values and material success. The chapter prepares the reader for future problems caused by Mali's decision. So we understand Mali is not somebody who takes elders' opinion before doing any work. So the chapter 4. Chapter 4 focus on preparing Mali for his journey to America. The chapter is set mainly at home. Practical matters like passport, money, and travel plans are discussed. These preparations create emotional tension for Jagan. Jagan feels proud that Mali is brave and ambitious. Why is that? Because Jagan understands when Mali takes the decision of going abroad without the permission of his own father, but still Mali is stick to his decision. He is doing necessary arrangement by himself, right? Arranging, getting the passports and the air flight tickets and all he does by himself. So for that those kinds of qualities, Jagan appreciate his son because he is so independent. Jagan questions whether studying creative writing abroad is necessary because he says what Valmiki, when he wrote the Ramayana, Valmiki didn't go anywhere. He was in India. India is well known for the storytelling. To write a story, to tell the story, do we want to go to America? Is there anything we can learn from there? That is the questions asked by Jagan. So that he remembers the teaching of the Bhagavad Gita throughout the story. He does that. He also follows Gandhi's ideas of simplicity. Jagan realizes that supporting Mali means letting go his fears. The chapter shows how daily life involves moral choices. Jagan spends a lot of money on Mali's travel and studies. He buys clothes, luggage, and gives travel money. Though he worries about money, he does not complain. Jagan treats his expense as a father's duty. His silent sacrifice shows deep parental love. Counting rupees late at night shows his care and responsibility. This tests Jagan's belief in simple living. Mali is excited and impatient about going to America. He talks about opportunities waiting for him abroad. He ignores his father's spiritual concerns. Mali shows little interest in prayers or rituals before leaving. He prefers modern efficiency over tradition. This highlights the generation gap between father and son. The writer uses gentle irony to show cultural differences. Suitcases and farewell meal symbolize a separation and connection. The chapter ends with mixed feeling of pride, fear, and hope. It prepares the reader for future changes and challenges. The chapter reinforces themes of family duty, tradition, and modernity. So, from this chapter 4, right, Mali's to America, and Mali robs 10,000 rupees from Jagan. Mali's arrange everything. Jagan get to know through a cousin. See, all these details are informed to Jagan through cousin, right? Not from his own son. They don't have the conversation. Through the conversations, he understands son's progress. No, it's not. He gets to know about all those things from cousin. Chapter 5, Mali has gone to America. Jagan's house becomes quiet and empty. The silence makes Jagan feel lonely. The sweatshop is still busy and successful. The busy shop reminds Jagan of Mali's absence. Mali sends letters from America. The letters arrive irregularly. They are short and formal. Mali writes mainly about studies and expenses. There is little love or emotion in the letters. Jagan reads the letters many times. He longs for affection and concern. He slowly realizes Mali is changing. This shows emotional distance between father and son. Jagan spends more time at his shop. He works longer hours and supervises carefully. He becomes more religious and disciplined. He reads the Bhagavad Gita regularly. He spins cotton as taught by Gandhi. This routine gives him comfort. They help him deal with loneliness. Jagan pretends to be detached but still worry about Mali. This shows conflict between detachment and fatherly love. They show the gap between tradition and Western life. Jagan feels isolated despite social respect. His loneliness leads to self-reflection. He begins to think about duty and meaning of success. The chapter ends with quiet anticipation. It prepares the reader for future changes in Jagan. Now Mali is in America. Mali sends airmail letters and Jagan just celebrate that thing, right? So in one place it says he has replaced Bhagavad Gita with these airmail, blue mail letters. So you understand how many number of times this person has kept reading his son's letters. Hari. Ilangata chapter 6. Chapter 6 begins with an unexpected event. Mali returns home suddenly from America. He brings a young woman named Grace. Grace is half American and half Korean. Mali introduces Grace as his wife. There has been no proper marriage ceremony. This shocks and confuses Jagan. Jagan believes in traditional marriage customs. He also values legal recognition of marriage. Jagan remains polite and hospitable to Grace. Inside, he feels disturbed and conflicted. He struggles to accept Mali's Western attitude. Grace is kind, respectful, and gentle. He tries to understand Indian culture. She speaks a few Tamil words. She shows interest in the sweet shop. Grace listens to Jagan's stories with respect. Grace acts as the bridge between cultures. Her behavior contrasts with Mali's attitude. Mali speaks confidently about his life abroad. He ignores his father's opinion and tradition. He dismisses marriage ritual as unnecessary. This shows his westernized thinking. The generation gap between father and son widens. Mali appears bold but insensitive. Jagan shows tolerance and self-control. He follows Gandhian principle of non-violence. Grace's presence brings cautious hope. The chapter highlights cultural contact and family tension. It prepares the reader for further conflict. So the chapter 6, what happened? Mali brings his Korean American wife and introduce her as the wife. So the Jagan doesn't know anything about their relationship, but he welcomed his daughter-in-law. Right? But when Grace joined with their family, joined with the father and son, father welcome her, right? He makes sure that the Grace feel comfortable in his house, because according to Indian culture, daughter-in-law should be treated in that way. And but Jagan does not find these two people relationship as a very strong bond. But the Grace is very kind, and she's ready to adopt Indian culture without taking much time. So he's, for now, for the time being, she speaks few Tamil words, and she has started wear saris and keep pottu and apply jasmine flower to her hair, just the way the Indian brides are doing. Okay, right. Right, the chapter 7. Now the conflict starts. What? A new conflict. Mali reveals his plan to start a business. Now Mali wants to start a business. Only thing what? He doesn't need the support ideas or the mental support from anybody. He needs the capital. He wants to sell a machine that can write stories automatically. Mali believes the machine can produce stories quickly. He sees it as a profitable business area. Jagan is confused and disturbed by this plan. He believes storytelling is an art, not a machine process. So the Jagan says what? Storytelling should be a natural execution, natural output. It should not be a mechanical output, because we have to put our creativity to that. Mali asked Jagan to invest money in the business. He expects financial support without question. Jagan has enough money but hesitate. Right? He questions the morality replacing human creativity. Jagan follows Gandhian ideas of honest labor. He feels torn between values and fatherly duty. This creates a moral dilemma for Jagan. Grace tries to calm the discussion. She explains Mali's idea politely. She respects Jagan's feeling. Grace acts as a bridge between the father and son. Mali speaks confidently and sometimes arrogantly. Jagan remains silent and thoughtful. The chapter highlights tradition versus modernity. It shows conflict between art and technology. The tension between father and son remains unresolved. The chapter prepares the reader for further conflict. So here, the chapter where the Mali introduces business ideas. He says that I want to produce a storytelling machine, right? So there I need the capital. Even the capital matter is explained to Jagan during that time. Jagan was not listening to his father, to his son. Because of that reason, he is bit unaware about the process going behind him. But Grace clearly explained the expectation of Mali, and Jagan refused to provide the financial support. ඔක්කොම දෙක දාලා තියෙනවා මම එක පොයින්ට් එකක් දෙකක් වගේ තමයි කටින් කියන්නේ everything I have included to this point හරිද අර chapter එකේ තියෙන essential sceneries essential incidents I have included into point 4. The conflict between Jagan and Mali becomes stronger. Jagan struggles to accept Mali's obsessions with money and technology. Mali continues to work on the story writing machine. He talks confidently about profit and markets. Mali ignores moral and spiritual concerns. Jagan asks quite questions about right and wrong. Mali gives quick and business-like answers. Their conversations show growing tension. Jagan follows Gandhian values of simplicity. He believes in self-restraint and honest work. Jagan doubts whether finding the project is right. He compares human creativity with machines. He fears technology may destroy imagination. Jagan feels torn between values and fatherly duty. Grace tries to keep the peace in the family. She explains business ideas calmly. She respects Jagan's belief. Grace acts as a bridge between tradition and modernity. She cannot stop the deeper conflict. The story writing machine symbolizes modern technology. It also symbolizes the loss of human creativity. The chapter highlights tradition versus modern life. It explores ethics of technology and business. The conflict remains unresolved. The chapter prepares the reader for future problem. On chapter 10 9. The tension between Jagan and Mali becomes sharper. Mali wants more money for his business. He plans to invest more in the story writing machine. Mali talks about international markets and quick profit. He pressures Jagan to provide financial support. Mali speaks in a cool, business-like manner. Jagan worries about moral and spiritual value. He questions the ethics of the machine. Jagan believes art needs human imagination. He feels technology may destroy creativity. Jagan remembers Gandhi's ideas of simple life. He struggles between values and fatherly duty. Jagan debates whether funding the project is right. He believes money should be used honestly. Jagan reflects deeply while running the sweet shop. Grace listens carefully to both father and son. She tries to explain Mali's idea gently. She appeals to Jagan's love for his son. Grace shows patience and kindness. Mali appears impatient and arrogant. Grace acts as a bridge between them. The story writing machine symbolizes modern business culture. It also symbolizes turning art into a commodity. The chapter highlights ethics of technology and money. Jagan does not agree to fund the project, the conflict remaining unresolved. Hari, තේරුණාද chapter 9 වෙනකම් ඕකේද? chapter 9 chapter 10 උත් මම class එකේ කරලා ඉවරයි නේ. එතකොට ප්‍රශ්න නැත කරලා තියන්න පුළුවන්. Chapter 10 brings a sudden crisis in the story. Mali is arrested by the police. He is charged with drunk driving. He is also charged with illegal possession of alcohol. The arrest shocks Jagan deeply. The news shocks the people of Malgudi. This event contrasts with earlier quiet family conflict. The arrest shows the danger of Mali's Western lifestyle. It also shows the results of uncontrolled ambition. Jagan feels fear, sorrow, and shame. He worries about his son's future. He worries about the family's honor. Jagan remembers Gandhian's teaching on self-discipline. He reflects deeply on moral values. Jagan struggles to decide whether to help Mali. He wonders if he would let the law take its course. Jagan realizes love cannot protect a child from consequences. Grace is upset by Mali's arrest. She begs Jagan to help Mali. She shows loyalty and compassion. Grace tries to comfort Jagan. Even Grace cannot solve the conflict. The chapter highlights the responsibility and morality. The arrest becomes a turning point in the novel. It pushes Jagan towards deep self-reflection. This chapter ends without a solution. අපි ඊළඟට යන් chapter 10 එකේ 10 එකේ නෙමෙයි 11 එක. Chapter 11 focuses on Jagan's inner struggle after Mali's arrest. Jagan feels shocked and troubled. හැබැයි පුතේ මේ Mali's arrest වෙන්නේ chapter 13 වලින් නේද? Chapter 13. ඒ arrest එක මම මෙතන චුට්ටක් edit කරන්න ඕනේ. Right, Jagan remembers Gandhi's idea of truth and non-attachment. He wonders whether he should help. No. මෙතන ඉඳලා චුට්ටක් වෙනස් වෙනවා. මෙතන ඉඳලා මම කියන්නම් ඈ මම ඒක edit කරලා මෙතන දාන්න ඕනේ. මේ ටික මම 11 එකේ ඉඳලා චුට්ටක් වෙනස් වෙලා තියෙනවා. Okay, so the chapter 11 onwards I'll explain by myself. මම ඊට පස්සේ note එක upload කරන්න, update කරන්න. Chapter 10, Jagan meets Grace with the help of cousin and get to know that they are not married. Mali's character further confuses Jagan and cousin intervenes. Right? Chapter 10. Chapter 11 පුතේ මොකද වෙන්නේ? Jagan feels depressed when living in his house. He meets Mali and he refuses to marry Grace. He complains that Grace is not fit to marriage. Chapter 10, chapter 11. In chapter 11, it's explained that the Jagan confirmed that the Mali and Grace are not married. So he tries to bring it as a valid marriage according to the Indian culture. But Mali refused to marry Grace. According to him, what he is telling, Grace is not fit to marry, right? She is not a matured one, responsible one who is ready to lead a family life. Chapter 12 එකේ මොකද වෙන්නේ? තන්නිකරම flashback එකක් තියෙනවා. මොකද්ද flashback එක? A flashback about his wedding, customs, family life and getting a child, right? How he went to see his bride and how they get married and how many years they struggle without a child and how Jagan's parents treat Ambika just as a traditional mother-in-law and daughter-in-law problem. Here also it visibly exists in this fiction, right? But what we understand, their relationship, Jagan's relationship with his wife is totally different from what he has with his wife. Mali and Jagan's marriage life is totally different from his father's one. Last chapter, Jagan decides to retreat. Now Jagan has taken decision. It's not good to be with them and putting myself into a very stressful place. It's better to leave the relationship. Tension is created whether Jagan would stop going to retreat, but he doesn't turn back. He believes punishment would correct Mali's life. He assigns the cousin to run the business until Mali would come and charge of it. He does think bad about Grace and says that he would buy her the air tickets to go back if she misses. So according to Jagan, also the Grace become wrong personality, but he is ready to buy the tickets so that she can safely reach her destination. ඔන්නෝම chapter 13 summary එක මම දාලා තිනවා පුතේ 10 වෙනකම් හරි මම 11 12 13 එක චුට්ටක් අප්ඩේට් කරලා දාන්නම්. ඊට අමතරව මම මෙතන දීලා තියෙනවා ඔයාලට ඕන අනිත් හැම ඩීටේල් එකක්ම දීලා තියෙනවා. questions ටික questions table එක type කරන්න ඕන ඊට අමතරව එච්චරයි. හරිද? ඒ කරන්න තියෙන මට කරන්න තියෙන්නේ මේ questions table එක 2021 වෙනකම් මම type කරා 2 3 4 එන්නේ ඒ අවුරුදු තුනේ questions ටික add කරලා මම මේක upload කරන්න. ඊට කලින් පුතේ බලන්න ඔන්න මොනවාද themes ටික දාලා තියෙනවා. හරි? tradition with modernity. එතකොට මේකේ කොහොමද generation gap එක, ඊට අමතරව spiritual value with materialism එක, ඊළඟට money and moral responsibility. හරිම පිළිවෙලට explanation එකක් දීලා තියෙනවා. art was commercialization, right? Commercialization. ඊට අමතරව parental love and its limits, ඊළඟට marriage and moral values, cultural identity and adaptation, loneliness and emotional isolation, non-attachment. So the Gandhian philosophy. Non-attachment is a key Gandhian principle in the novel. Jagan learns that emotional dependence causes suffering. So when you are emotionally attached to somebody, when you are thinking about them, it can stress up you. It can bring the stress to your mind. So it's better to stay ourselves away, right? The too much attachment definitely can create unwanted problems. Right after that, literary devices as well, given with the example. ඔක්කොම literary devices ටික දැම්මම ඒකට example එකත් එක්කලා තියෙනවා. මේ explanation එක තියෙනවා. ඊළඟට මෙන්න මේක novel එකේ setting එක. මම මේක මේ වෙන document එකකින් ගත්තේ පුතේ. වෙන document එකක තිබුණා. මට මෙතන මෙන්න මේ quotations ටිකක් දාලා තියෙනවා. හරිද? important quotations ටිකක් දැම්මම පහත ඇත්තේ මං හිතන්නේ නේ. important quotation මේ question එක 2019 එකේ question එක අරගෙන ඒකට හදන්න පුළුවන් sketch මේ skeleton එක දීලා තියෙනවා. කොයි වගේද body එක paragraph එකේ එන්න ඕනේ කියලා. ඊට පස්සේ ඒකට අදාළ essay එකක් මම දීලා තියෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ මම මෙතන quotations දැම්මනේ පුතේ. මේකේ නෑනේ. මේකේ අවසානට මං ආවනේ. මම දාලා තියෙනවා quotations ටික. වැදගත් quotations ටිකකුයි events ටිකකුයි දැම්මා. හරිද? මේ characterizations ටික දාලා තියෙනවා ඔක්කොම ටික. කවුද මලි, කවුද ජගන්, මේ තියෙන important quotations ටික මම අරගෙන දාලා තියෙනවා. මේ ටික පාඩම් කරගන්න. ඊට අමතරව important events ටික දාලා තියෙනවා මේ fiction එකේ. ඊට පස්සේ ඔයාලගේ question එක තියෙනවා. හරිද? ඔන්න මෙන්න මේ document එක මම අද දවස් ඇතුළත update කරලා ඔයාලගේ system එකට දානවා. Tuesday අපේ මේ poetry class එක තියෙනවනේ. Tuesday අපේ poetry එක තියෙනවනේ. Wednesday ඔයාලට මොන හරි වෙන වැඩක් තියෙනවද? Thursday? Thursday you have. What do you have? What?
I have a science class.
Science class. Thursday at what time? Okay. තෙනුකි ඔයා ගුරු නිවසේ මගේ ක්ලාස් එකට විතරයි දෙන්නේ. Two classes only. My one and Rasi teacher's one.
And additional classes.
English class.
No, Buddhism and health.
You are doing English medium Buddhism? Okay, right. So, all the other subjects you are not taking here, no? Okay, Hansa?
All your class teacher.
Only mine.
Yes.
Tuan?
Your class, Virginia's class, Iran's class, and Abhiman's class.
Avivansas. 4 subjects you are taking here. So maybe the next week they are organizing some seminars. I won't do that. මම මගේ දේවල් ටික මම කරලා ඉවරයිනේ. මේ මට තව එකයි තියෙන්නේ. poetry එකේ තියෙන්නේ. Tuesday අපි 10 o'clock වලට join වෙමු. බලමු 4 hours වලින් මට කරන්න පුළුවන් ටික කරලා ඊට පස්සේ මම කියන්නම් ඔයාලට මේ අනිත් section එක කවදද තියෙන්නේ කියලා. මම හිතන හැටියට within 4 hours 20 poems cover up කරන්න බැහැ. හරිම අමාරුයි. එහෙම බැරි වුණොත් මට තව දවසක් දෙන්න. ඊයේ දවසේ අපි cancel කරපු class එකත් එකට දාලා මේ කරමු. but Wednesday 4 hours 10 to 2 and 2 වෙනකම් කරලා බලමු. කරලා බලලා ඉඩ එකක් ගමු. මේක හරි නේද පුතේ? මම මේකේ presentation එකයි මේකයි ඔයාලගේ LMS එකට දාන්නම්. තව මොන හරි මගේ අතින් කරලා දෙන්න දෙයක් තියෙනවනම් මට කියන්න මම ඒ වගේ submit කරලා දෙන්නම්. Hari, then shall we stop the session? God bless you.
Thank you, teacher. Bye-bye.
Hello. Yes. Guys, I'm back. Are you there? Yes. Right. More than you, I wanted a break. Right. Hari. Tanuki, switch the camera on. She can't. Tuan, switch on the camera. Now enough. Here, social and cultural setting. Their traditional Indian family structure, Gandhian ideals of simplicity, discipline and non-attachment, strong respect for marriage, religion and moral conduct. At the same time, modern influences appear through Malay's Western education and ideas, the concept of the story writing machine, changing attitudes towards marriage and responsibility. You see his modern influences. Psychologically setting, Jagan's loneliness and inner conflict, his moral struggle as a father. We call this one dilemma. What is dilemma? Dilemma means we are unable to take a decision we are unable to take a proper decision. Right? We always think, should I go or stay at home? Should I give him money or not? Do I want to provide him with capital or should I leave him to do himself? Right? So, likewise, always Jagan is having this dilemma. When he reduced the prices of the sweets also, he is not that confirm about it. Right? Again, he changed the price back to normal. He reduced the prices drastically. He put the prices drastically down and again he bring it back to the normal rates. Remember? Right? So most of the cases, he is having this dilemma in his character. So here, his gradual movement towards spiritual detachment. He gradually detach himself from his family life, from his family members. Okay, so through the settings, we understand the difference between the traditional and the modernity, reflect moral and cultural change, emphasize the quick, quite realistic tone of the novel, allow Narayan to critique modernization gently and humorously. Okay, conclusion එකට කලින් මට මගේ මේ right මෙන්න බලන්න plot එකේ exposition එක මොනවාද වෙන්නේ. The novel is set in Malgudi, a small Indian town. It introduces Jagan, a prosperous sweet vendor who follows Gandhian principles such as simplicity, honesty, self-discipline, and spiritual living. He reads Bhagavad Gita daily and lives a frugal life despite his wealth. Frugal mean what? Minimal life, right? Jagan's only son Mali is emotionally distant and rejects his father's traditional values. The early part establishes Jagan's moral world, the generation gap between the father and son, the contrast between tradition and modernity. You will be able to understand these things from the initial stage of the fiction. Rising action, the tension increases when Mali leaves for America, abandoning Indian traditions and family ties. Jagan feels hurt but continues to financially support his son, believing it is his duty. Mali later returns from America with Grace, a Korean American woman. Grace adopts Indian culture, wearing a sari and following Indian customs. Jagan assumes they are married. Mali introduces his ambitious idea of a storytelling machine which he wants Jagans to fund. This proposal gradually builds pressure and moral tension. What is the conflict? Conflict, Jagan was Mali. Spiritual value was material ambition. Act was commercialization, right? Commercialization. Jagan strongly dislikes the story writing machine because it destroys creativity and turns art into a commodity. Mali, on the other hand, is impatient, profit driven, and dismissive of moral concern. So these are the conflict. Mali's refusal to marry Grace, Jagan confusion about modern relationship, cultural and moral understanding. The climax occurs when Jagan refuses to fund the story writing machine. This moment represents Jagan's new birth, new Janma at the age of 60. For the first time, he firmly asserts his moral principle instead of silently adjusting for his son. Soon after, Mali is arrested for drunken driving, marking the collapse of his irresponsible modern lifestyle. Jagan refuses to use his money or influence to rescue Mali, accepting that actions have consequences. Whatever he has done, he should repay for that. Repay for that. Resolution, the novel ends quietly without dramatic reconciliation. Jagan chooses spiritual detachment and inner peace over emotional dependence. He decides to step away from family life and material concern, embracing non-attachment, a core Gandhian idea. There is no clear solution for Mali or Grace, reinforcing the novel's realistic tone. The resolution lies not external events but in Jagan's moral clarity and acceptance. Themes එකට කලින් මට එන්න ඕනේ. Yes. Okay, chapter 1. Jagan is a sweet seller in the town of Malgudi. He runs his sweet shop carefully every day. He prepares sweets and supervises his workers. The shop is busy and filled with pleasant smell of sugar and sweets. Jagan earns money through business but lives in a disciplined life. He follows Gandhian principle. He spins his own cotton to make his clothes. He reads the Bhagavad Gita every day. He believes wealth should be balanced with spirituality. Jagan lives in post-independence Indian society. He has only one son named Mali. Jagan and Mali do not share a close relationship. Their conversations are brief and uncomfortable. Mali is modern and restless in nature. He is not interested in his father's traditional beliefs. There is a clear generation gap between father and son. The chapter highlights the conflict between tradition and modern life. The writer uses simple language, humor, and gentle irony. The sweet shop symbolizes balance between money and values. The chapter introduces themes of family, morality, change, and conflict. It prepares the reader for future tension between Jagan and Mali. ඔන්න ඔය points ටික මම දාලා තියෙනවා. ඔයාලා සම්පූර්ණ chapter එක read කරොත් හරිද ඔය point වලින් එහාට කිසිම දෙයක් හොයාගන්න නැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ තියෙන්න පුළුවන් උපරිම useful important concerns ටික මම ඔතන mention කරලා තියෙනවා. ගන්න ඕන උපරිම points ටික මම දැම්මා. ඉන්නකෝ. Okay, Pute. So, if you go through the first chapter, there, who? R.K. Narayan. There, R.K. Narayan gives you a crystal clear picture about Jagat, right? First of all, from his dress code, his hair, his beard, how often he shave his beard, right? Everything is given. Okay, so the dress code, how he put the jibba, the dhoti, and the shawl, and the hat, and how he is having only 2 sets of clothes. At the same time, he is not somebody who takes this material from outside. He himself spins these clothes, right? This cloth is specially spun by him, and right after that, the shop. Inside the shop, he has 4 cooks, right? 4 people are responsible to take care of the kitchen affairs. And there is a young boy so that he can manage the stall and provide the products just the way customers are requesting. After that, cousin. Who is the cousin? Cousin is somebody who visit the shop daily basis. For what? For what? So that he can secure his position in Jagan's life. So according to cousin, entire village is his relatives. Entire village needs him for what? For their different type of works. Not only for a particular thing, but for several reasons. Entire village requesting cousin to visit their places so that they can fulfill their desired activities from cousin. Here, for the Jagan, cousin is the lab rat, because Jagan is someone who never consume sugary items, right? Because of that reason, Jagan wants cousin to test all those sweets item and give him the feedback. So cousin also doing his responsibility because he wants to keep a touch with every single one in the village. හරිද? මොකක් හරි මේ වෝට් ඉල්ලන අදහසක් තියනවද දන්නේ නැහැ.
අපි පොඩි වෙනසක් කරා සර්. මම දන්නේ ඒක හරියයිද කියලා. පාස්වර්ඩ් එක තියෙනවද මේකේ?
වතුර හැල්ලා. ආ මේක ඉවරලා දෙකට. ආලෝකයක් වෙනවා මේක. ආලෝකයක් නැහැ යන ක්ලාස් නැහැ කියලා ගෲප් එකෙන් දාලා තුන නැගිටිනවා වෙනවද? දැන් උදේ කිව්වේ? අද ඉන්නේ නැති ඌ නෙගටිව් ගෲප් එකේ දාලා තුන ක්ලාස් නැහැ කියලා.
සවුන්ඩ් එක ගන්නවා.
Other students have low academic.
Okay, and then we understand Jagan as the owner of this sweet shop, right? He is a person who keeps his chair in the middle of the shop, so he can observe the 4 cooks in the kitchen. At the same
ඒක
time,
කෑලි කෑලි තියෙන ඔක්කොම ටික එකතු
small
කරන්න
boy.
ඕනේ.
ඒ කියන්නේ
That's
අය
how
අලුත්
he
එක.
ඒක අර එක එක
position
එක එක
මේකත් තිබ්බේ නිකන් ලස්සන කේකයි.
නෑ මේක තිබ්බ ලාස්ට් එක විතරක් තිබ්බහම මේ
පේන්නේ නැහැ.
තේරෙනවා.
you can't hear properly. You hear somebody else's voice.
මේක අර මේ නෝමල් නම් ටික ලොකු ටයිම් එකක් යනවා වගේ හැබැයි එකතු කරලා
Okay.
විනාඩියකට අඩු වෙයි.
You hear Who's
වෙනසන්න ඕනේ.
ඔන්න මගුල.
Haitian sir's voice?
ඊට පස්සේ අර normal ටික තමයි කිව්වේ හැබැයි
Gehan,
මට
what's wrong?
ඊට පස්සේ
Gehan sir, what's wrong with the voice?
අත්වෙන්න මගේ.
It's not clear.
Here is some numbers.
You hear Abhiman sir. Abhiman sir is not. Yeah. Get connected with yours.
මේකේ බැටරි බහැලා.
Whose one, Buddha? Abhiman sir's one, no? No, Abhiman sir is not there. Only the Haitians.
These are office people.
Office people. Okay, so you hear their conversation. Not mine. You hear mine as well.
I can hear this.
Is that okay now? No.
Okay,
No. Okay, right. So let me know, huh? Right. Don't listen to others' conversations. Quickly tell me. Teacher, something else connected. We can't hear yours. Okay, right. So, Jagan. Here, Jagan, as a shop owner, he maintained 4 cooks, 1 boy, and 1 security person. And as he is a Gandhian follower, he reads Bhagavad Gita every day. Right? When he enters the shop, he keeps the Bhagavad Gita on his table and he keeps reading. But whenever from the kitchen side, if he doesn't hear the noise of the vessels and the cooking, frying sounds and all, he quickly call their names. So there we understand this is such a hypocritic one because nobody can concentrate reading a book and observe the background. Okay, and he is a person, Mahatma Gandhi says, lead a simple life, right? Lead a simple life. But he, behind his chair on the wall, there is a statue, there is a picture of Lakshmi. Why do we worship Lakshmi? Lakshmi brings us wealth, right? Lakshmi brings us wealth. So we worship Lakshmi to be luxurious, to be a wealthy person. So if you are really leading a simple life, you don't need more and more profit, right? You have to earn for your daily needs. Excessive money is useless. That's what Mahatma Gandhi said, right? The other one is he is a widower. His wife passed away when his child was 6 years old. Now he is single parenting his son. And we understand the relationship between Smali and Jagan is not that close, right? The reason is Jagan asked details about his own soul son from Kazim. So Kazim became the intermediator between this father and son. Right? This is not a huge family. This is not an extended family. It's a small nuclear family. Just like an atom bomb. A very small nuclear family because even the mother is not there. Then they should have maintained a strong bond in between them. You don't see that from their relationship. So there is a gap in their relationship. There is a communication gap in their relationship. Physically, they live under one roof, but mentally, they don't know what exactly they like even. Right? This gap, Jagan tries to fill from Kazim. Okay? Right. Another one. When R.K. Narayan talks about the attire of this man, he especially mentioned his shoes, right? How he prepared the hide and what is the speciality of his shoes, Why he doesn't like leather shoes? Because Mahatma Gandhi said not to spread violence. Then how you can cut a throat of a living being for the comfortability of our own feet කියලා concept taking. So he has decided not to take leather shoes, but to prepare it by himself. And again, as Mahatma Gandhi asked them to value the national products. So the Mahatma Gandhi asked everybody per day at least they should weave 2 yards. Then only the country will be commercially fit, economically fit. So for that, Jagan also weave cloth for 2 hours. It is not weaving actually, it is spinning. He spun 2 yards per day just because he wanted to follow the Gandhi. So these are the special things we see during the chapter 1. Right. See the chapter 2. Right. See the chapter 2. The distance between Jagan and his son Mali becomes clearer in this chapter. Jagan continues his simple Gandhian way of life. He spins cotton, read religious books, and return the sweet shop carefully. Jagan hopes Mali will follow his values. Mali is attracted to a modern and Western lifestyle. When Jagan asks about Mali's studies or future, Mali gives short or rude replies. Their conversation creates silent tension. There are no open arguments, but the strain is strongly felt. Silence during meals shows emotional distance between father and son. Jagan is shown as a patient and gentle father. He believes good example is better than strict control. Jagan follows Gandhian ideas of non-violence and truth. He avoids forcing his son and chooses moral influence. Jagan struggles between correcting Mali and not pushing him away. This shows Jagan's deep moral thinking and compassion. Mali is restless and ambitious. He talks about foreign countries and modern ideas. He is dissatisfied with the small town life in Malgudi. His silence and behavior suggest future plans to go abroad. Mali represents the younger generations and cultural change. The chapter shows tradition versus modernity more clearly. It also shows love and conflict within a family. The writer uses gentle humor and independent understatement. The chapter prepares the reader for Mali's important decision in the next chapter. Right? Right. So the chapter 2, there you deeply understand the bond in between the Mali and Jagan. Right. The house, the constructions remain just the same way how Jagan's father hand over this house to him. Right. His beliefs about the life, his concept about economy, his lifestyle and everything is revealed in the chapter 2. There we get a clear understanding. Mali does not enjoy the relationship, the companionship of his father. He always wants to keep father away from his eyesight, right? He doesn't like to move with him, and whatever question by Jagan is rudely answered by his son. Right. Chapter 3. දාන්න පුළුවන් හොඳම point forms ටික දාලා තියෙනවා. Chapter 3 is the turning point in the story because Mali tells Jagan that he wants to go to America. So the Jagan get to know that Mali doesn't like to continue his studies in India. He says that I don't want to, I am going to quit. It is not the permission he asked from the father. It is the information given to the father. Mali is not asking the permission, but he is telling, he is giving the information. I have, මොනවද කියන්නේ පුතේ? I don't want to study anymore. නේද? මීට පස්සේ I'm not, he didn't ask the permission from his father. For anything, he is not, for any concern of his life, he is not getting father's advice or the father's opinion. He has kept the father far away from his beliefs and all. Here, he informed that actually it doesn't Mali through the Jagan, through the cousin Jagan get to know that Mali is about to fly abroad here. He does not understand how writing can be taught as a subject. The conversation is calm but full of silence and tension. The scene shows a strong generation and cultural gap. Going abroad is a big step for Indian of that time. Mali's decision shows his modern thinking and ambition. Jagan feels mixed emotions about Mali's plan. He feels worried, confused, and secretly proud of his son. Jagan follows Gandhian ideas of simplicity and self-control. He believes foreign education is unnecessary and risky. At the same time, he loves his son deeply. Jagan remembers teaching from the Bhagavad Gita. He believes in non-attachment and selfless duty. Jagan decided not to stop Mali from going abroad. He agrees to support Mali financially. This shows Jagan's sacrifice and generosity as a father. Mali speaks excitedly about success, fame, and money. He sees creative writing as a business opportunity. Mali appears confident, ambitious, and intelligent. He also seems intensive to his father's feeling. Mali represents the younger generation embracing global change. The chapter highlights themes of ambition, migration, and change. It shows conflict between spiritual values and material success. The chapter prepares the reader for future problems and caused by Mali's decision. Right.